Good afternoon, Blue Jays fans, and welcome to the Blue Jays Sports Network. My name is Jamie Burdish, and I will be on the call for today's game. We got an interconference matchup between the Westminster Blue Jays and the Martin Luther Knights.
Homecoming 2019!
Today is also a big day for the Blue Jays as they celebrate this year's homecoming. Last year they traveled to Martin Luther and took a loss to Martin Luther during their homecoming, but things will flip here today, and it'll be the Westminster Blue Jays homecoming, and Martin Luther comes in to try to look for their fifth win. They're 4-1 on the season, and they will return the kickoff today to start off this game. Tim Brannicky on to kick off for the Blue Jays. And we are off. Brannicky's kick squibbled to the backfield.
The ball gets a nice bounce, and he's shut down at the 30.
Nothing much happened in there on the kickoff, so now the Knights will take on the field. Their offense will try to make a quick attempt here to get 7 on the board. Leading the Knights today will be Ethan Aguilar, the quarterback, sophomore, 6'2", 185, out of California. They're in the shotgun set. 2 receivers at the bottom of your screen. He'll fake the handoff. Throw one deep down the field, just out of their reach.
And the ball is just out of his reach. Second down.
That was Joshua Krinn, the attended receiver. Aguilar just put it over the top of him. That would have been a big play to start off this game here. The Knights coming into this game, a huge win against another in-conference team, Iowa Wesleyan. They blew that game out 51-6, a total of 493 yards. They'll hand it off. That's Denoyer. A first down and more. This Knights offense able to run the ball really well, but also throw the ball well. Aguilar can air one out, but also he can run himself. Aguilar's got 2 running backs to the right and left of him, and 2 receivers. They'll give it off again. Just about 5 yards there for the Knights. Set up a 2nd and 5. Just under a minute over in this game has begun. Once again, Aguilar's got Denoyer and Krinn. The handoff to Denoyer. He'll break through a few tackles and get to the first down. Blue Jays defense struggling there to get down the running back. Denoyer. Knights now into Blue Jays territory on the 42-yard line. Looking to make a big impact here. Just under 1 minute has been taken off the clock. Not too much going on there. Another run. This is Elliott Butler. Knights looking to put up 7 here. They need a first down to get into field goal range at least if they want to get 3. Another handoff. That's Denoyer. Denoyer might have the first down there. We'll see where they spot it. It looks to be just a bit short. It'll be 3rd and about 1 yard. Total of 5 plays thus far in this drive. 2 receivers out for the Knights and 2 running backs. It'll be a keeper, but he'll fumble it. Recovered there by the Knights, but almost lost. That was Aguilar. He tried to keep it himself. It looked like he almost tried to pitch it off at the last second, but wasn't able to do so. So fumbled, and all the way back the Knights go. It'll be 4th and long. I'm sorry. They did spot the first down, so it'll be 2nd and long on this play.
Holding. Offense. Number
So a penalty on the Knights, a holding on the offense. So we'll have 2nd and long here for the Knights, pushed all the way back to the 41-yard line. Still threatening. If they can get a big pass here, we'll see if they can get back into that red zone territory or even a field goal. Want to make something out of this drive. That's a deep pass intended just out of the reach. That was Josh Wardell, the intended receiver. Once again, Aguilar just over the reach. Just a little bit too much on that throw. It probably would have been a touchdown there, but now 3rd and long. Knights last game had not the greatest 3rd down conversion rate, 1 in 14 on the day against Iowa Wesleyan. We'll see if they can change the script here. It'll be a run. That's DeNoyer. Stops. Nothing happening there. Good job by the defense to stop him at the line. 4th and long for the Knights. See if they'll go for it or kick it. Be a pretty far kick. About 40 yards. Looks like the offense will stay on there and try to get a little bit more yardage. It'll be 4th and 16. Aguilar in the shotgun set with 3 receivers at the bottom of your screen. A little screen pass. That's DeNoyer. DeNoyer has some space, but a big stop by the Blue Jays. We will switch field possession. Blue Jays offense will take the field. It's a 10-play drive from the Knights. Made it all the way to the 25 of the Westminster Blue Jays, but nothing going on there. No points to show for that drive. And now it'll be Wyatt Ellis and the Blue Jays to take the offensive stand. He'll hand it off. That's Smith, nowhere to go. Stopped behind the line. That'll be a loss of 2. That was DeQuinton Smith on the carry. He had himself a pretty good game. Last game, 16 attempts and 82 yards on the game for him. Blue Jays offense established the run game early in that game. See what they'll do here in today's matchup. It's a pass from Ellis, a little high, a flag on the play. That pass intended for Travion Mosby. We'll see what the flag is. It might have been a late hit on the quarterback, Ellis.
Ineligible receiver that field. Offense.
It's actually an ineligible receiver on the offense, so a penalty will hurt this Blue Jays team once again. 53 penalties on the season coming into the game, nearly 500 yards given up from those penalties. A big problem and a concern for the Blue Jays. They'll look to change that here, but Ellison Smith in the backfield. Ellis steps back to throw. Some pressure coming. A pass to Mosby off his hands. A quick 3-and-out for the Blue Jays. Now will force sophomore Tim Brannicky to punt. Number 23, Matt Botchman, will be back to receive for the Knights along with that's 42. Brannicky's punt is tipped a bit, but that'll roll a good amount and land right by the 30-yard line of the Knights, and they'll take the offensive stand once again. Knights last time out made a good drive down to the 25-yard line, but a penalty costed them and weren't able to convert on 4th down. No points for them on the score because of that. Maybe Aguilar once again. He'll hand it off to Denoyer. Gain of 1 there. Last game, this Knights offense averaged nearly 7 yards each play. And as I mentioned, scored 51 points on Iowa Wesleyan, looking to do the same here. Come in and shut the door on homecoming here at Westminster. It's handed off once again. Denoyer will gain about 5, just short of the 1st down. 0-1 is this Knights offense. On 3rd down, they attempted a 4th down conversion and weren't able to get it. They were 1 for 1 on 4th downs in their last game against Iowa Wesleyan and tried it this game, but weren't able to be successful. See if they can convert on 3rd and 1 here. Aguilar will hand it off, and it'll be good for a 1st down. The 2 running backs to the right and left, Joshua Kren and Austin Denoyer, both run pretty well, but you also got to think, if you're the Blue Jays defense, you got to watch Aguilar, because he can also run himself. It's 3 touchdowns on the year, rushing-wise. It'll be a 1st down for the Knights, threatening once again. And that's around the corner goes Kern. He'll move through a tackle. He'll have space and he'll score. That's Joshua Kren. Moves quickly and swiftly through the Blue Jays defense easily. And he'll put 6 on the board. The Knights stick with the running game here, and it works success. Joshua Kren, the junior running back for the Knights, put 6 on the board with 8:12 remaining in the 1st quarter. And now Otto on to kick for the Knights. His kick will be good. That's 7 points on the board for the Knights. A strong start for them. That's 2 drives that they've been successful. The first one, unfortunately, they had a flag and got pushed back a bit, weren't able to convert on 4th down, and no points for them, but had a good defensive stand, 3-and-out for the Blue Jays. Came right back and pushed the ball on the ground. And now we'll see 7-0, 8:12 remaining. That was running back Joshua Krin's 6th touchdown on the year.
Come on, Charles.
Back to receive for the Blue Jays will be Charles King. Otto's kick is up. Now to the 20 and the 30. There's some flags thrown. Charles King gets out to the 45, but quite a few flags thrown there. That's 2 flags out there on the field.
Holding. Number 20. That penalty is declined. Holding on the return seat. Number 3. That is enforced from the spot. 10-yard penalty. First down.
2 holding calls on the Blue Jays on the return. That'll push him back 10 yards. So the Blue Jays offense and Ellis will take the field once again. We saw a lot of rushes from Wyatt Ellis in their last game, rushing for 114 yards. Actually scored 3 rushing touchdowns in that game. We haven't seen any of that today. Well, maybe this drive will be the first of that. Kalen Davis behind Ellis on this drive to start it off. That's Totten in motion. Handed it off to Davis. Davis will try to get past the line, but once again, nothing coming there.
Which is Kalen Davis, but they're not running a short game.
Two receivers out there. That's Mosby and Young, the 2 Kirkwood High School alums. Ellis will pitch it out to Davis. Davis has some room. He'll gain about 5 yards. We'll bring up a 3rd and short. Last game, I talked about 3rd down conversions being huge for the Blue Jays, and I must have set something up because they did really well last game. And they were 8 and 14 on 3rd down conversions, 0 and 1 in this game. We'll see if they can even it up here. We'll pass it here, short pass. That's Huffman. That'll be good for a first down and more.
Blue Jays!
Matt Huffman on the reception. It's the first time we've seen a pass be complete from Ellis. Davis remains out there with Ellis. Seth Klein, the tight end, comes in. Davis a handoff. A few blocks front. He'll gain about 2 yards.
There's an inside run.
The 2 tight ends, Totten and Klein, switch off back and forth quite a bit here. Seth offers the size. Totten also some size. Both really big tight ends. But we haven't seen the Blue Jays offense use them too much this season. They've been sticking with the ground game here. Once again, that is Davis. He'll gain about 5 more. So a 3rd down and about 4 for the Blue Jays. 1 for 2 on 3rd down conversions thus far. It's a big part of the game, 3rd down conversions, being able to push through and get that first down and be able to move down the field. We'll see if they go with the runner pass here. Will be a run to Davis, but he'll be stuffed. Nothing happening there. A punt upcoming here from the Blue Jays once again. Six plays on that drive after this punt. That's a nice punt there by Brannicky. We'll roll just a bit and get down to the 25-yard line. This Knights offense will come out once again to try to put another 7 on the board. After losing their first game at Martin Luther of the season, they've been hot of late, winning 4 straight, 3-0 in the UMAC. They'll look to put up another win here in the conference against the Blue Jays. Once again, it's Aguilar. He'll hand it off to Denoyer. He has some space. He'll get the first down and more. Still going out to the 40, to the 30. Denoyer scrambled there. A good run by Denoyer. Stopped by a pile of Blue Jays, but they'll be in red zone territory. And it's the second time that the Knights have had a big running play. Now on the 15, excuse me. That's Denoyer again, but stuff there. Excuse me, that was actually Butler on the carry and stopped right at the line. So 2nd and 10 here for the Knights on the 16-yard line, threatening to put up 6 more. Shotgun set, 2 receivers to the top and 2 receivers to the bottom. It'll be Kren on the carry. Gain about 6 yards there. 3rd and short coming up.
Come on, shout out to Blue Jay fans. Still a 3rd down. Pick up your defense.
Big 3rd down coming for the Blue Jays defense. Be able to get a stop here would be huge. Force a field goal. There'll be a handoff to Denoyer. Fumble on the field. Returned by the Blue Jays. A huge strip from the Blue Jays, and they'll gain possession on the 10-yard line. Just when you thought the Knights were going to punch it in for 6 more, the Blue Jays capitalize on that situation, jump on the fumble, and get the ball right back. 2:17 remaining in the first quarter. Wyatt Ellis will take the ball in the field, the 8-yard line. He'll step back to pass. Taking himself and closed in there by the defense. Number 81, Gensmer, with a big stop. Wyatt Ellis had a lot of room, but Gensmer came out of nowhere and stopped him. Ellis will step back to throw once more. That pass intended for Totten, but just out of the reach of him, and Mosby tried to make, that was Young who tried to make a play on the ball. But nothing happening there. 3rd and long coming up for the Blue Jays once again. Blue Jays pinned back at the 10-yard line of their own. Dobbins in the backfield with Ellis. 2 receivers at the top and bottom. Ellis to throw. Will take it himself, roll out. There's a flag on the play, but that pass to Fleetwood. Fleetwood will gain some ground, and make it to the 30-yard line. 2 flags thrown on the play. Could be a holding call here on the offense. But it was a nice job there by Ellis to get out of the pocket and make a nice throw to Fleetwood. See if it counts.
Holding, offense, number 72.
Holding on number 72 for the Blue Jays will pin him back even more. Once again, penalties from the Blue Jays hurting. .120 left on the clock. It'll be 3rd and long.
The penalty was on the 5.5.
A little confusion on the spotting there, but we'll give it a go. The Blue Jays will have the ball on the 5-yard line. Ellis in the shotgun set. Once again, step back to throw. He'll take one deep. That's intended for Fleetwood. The catch is good. Fleetwood, a long pass. A nice catch there to bring that one in. He'll make it to the 45-yard line.
And that right there is good enough for another Blue Jay.
Ellis was hit in the backfield after that play. I believe there was a flag. Nobody there to cover Fleetwood. He was wide open, and the pass was put right into his hands.
Personal foul. Roughing the passer. Defense.
The roughing the passer call on the defense will give Blue Jays 15 more yards. Crazy turn of events, what penalties can do. The ability to stay in the pocket from Ellis there and get that pass off. Incredible. Now they'll have some great field possession around the 35-yard line of the Knights. Clock ticking down under the 1-minute mark here in the first quarter. Ellis and Dobbins in the backfield. That pass for Mosby. Gain about 5. Clock at the 32-second mark here in the first quarter. We'll have to get one more play off before the quarter ends. Once again, Dobbins behind Ellis. Travion Mosby up top of your screen. Cornell Young and Martin at the bottom. That's a handoff to Dobbins, and Dobbins it looks like he'll get the first down. He just put his head down and bulldozed his way through for his first down and a few more. And that'll do it for us here in the first quarter.
And the first
Knights
quarter.
lead 7-0 over the Blue Jays here on homecoming. To start this second quarter, the Blue Jays will have the ball with some great field possession here, trying to tie this game right back up. After a long pass from Ellis to Fleetwood and the penalty, the roughing the passer penalty gained 15 yards, Blue Jays began their drive right around the 10-yard line, so thus far been a good one for the Blue Jays. Might I mention, they were in third down, so once again, a good job converting on third down. The run game was established early for the Blue Jays. They've been passing it a lot more here in the drive. You tend to think if the reason they did that running stuff was to set up this pass game, but it has worked thus far in the drive. Ellis, a high snap there, gives it off to Dobbins. Dobbins will get through a tackle or two and make it out to the 18-yard line.
Number 32, fighting for the extra yard. Short down for the Blue Jays.
Someone we didn't see at all last game, and Dobbins having himself a few carries and doing a good job of getting those extra yardages, breaking tackles of the Knights. He remains out there with Ellis. Young and Mosby are the receivers. Pass there intended for Mosby, but just short and almost picked off there by the Knights defense. So third down up to come for the Blue Jays, 3rd and 7. See if the Blue Jays will stick with the passing game here or if they'll try to run it for the first down. It will be a pass. Ellis steps back. He'll pass it to Mosby for a touchdown. Threading the needle is Ellis to number 17, Travion Mosby. 6 points for the Blue Jays. That is passing touchdown number 11 for Ellis. And number 8 receiving for Travion Mosby. The pair has been doing well this season, and they add 6 to their totals in this game. The kick is up and good. That's 1 extra point for the Blue Jays, and this game is all tied up. 7-7 here, 14:03 in this UMAC conference matchup and homecoming for the Westminster Blue Jays. So a long drive for the Blue Jays sets them up for 6 points and then the field goal for 7. And they tie this game right back up after the fumble from the Knights. The Knights had really good field possession within the 10-yard line after a big run from Denoyer, but unfortunately a fumble there sets up the Blue Jays offense. Now it'll be Tim Brannicky once again to kick off to the Knights. His kick swiveled. Number 3, Beckman. Beckman fumbles it a bit, but he'll make it out to the 21-yard line. After a little bit of trouble there in the backfield, he'll gain some yardage, and the Knights offense will take the field. Now, the Knights offense did have 7 fumbles in their last game against Iowa Wesleyan, losing 2 of those. There was 1 fumble today and losing that one. I'm sure the Blue Jays defense will want to make that a trend. It'll be Aguilar once again with his 2 running backs to the side of him. He'll hand it off. That's Kren. Kren has a lot of room. He'll make it upfield, down to the 50. All the way down to the field. A tackle missed there, and 1 play, 1 score for the Knights. Once again, that's Kren on the running touchdown. A shock to the Blue Jays defense. 1 play for the Knights, and they take the lead right back. That's Joshua Kren. Had a whole head of speed, and nobody could catch him there. There was 1 tackle intended, but just missed him, and easy 6 points for the Knights. And that'll add another point into their totals after the PAT is good. 14-7, 13:44 remaining in the second quarter. A big change of events there. The Blue Jays had a lot of momentum after that touchdown. A really good pass from Ellis to Mosby, but the defense comes out there and tries to get a big stop, and after 1 play, they're shot in the heart. Blue Jays will have another chance to score, though, here with 13:44 remaining in the second quarter. And the kickoff is squibbed a bit there. It'll be Charles King who will receive it. He'll move upfield and try to gain some yardage, get to about the 23-yard line. Joshua Kren from the last play, he has a total of 151 yards already. That one 79-yarder for a touchdown. He's been averaging 30 yards today. But on the other side of things, the Blue Jays will take an offensive stand here and try to get those 7 points back. Davis back out there as the running back with Ellis. And the shotgun set. Hand off to Davis. Davis has some room, breaks a tackle. He'll make it out to the 45-yard line. A good run there by Davis.
Holding his way down the middle of the field. That right there is good enough for
3 running backs used by the Blue Jays thus far. And once again, Davis will remain out there with the 2 receivers. That's Huffman and Young on the bottom of your screen, and Fleetwood and Mosby at the top. Ellis will set back to throw. He'll fake it, and nothing happening there. A double sack, a team effort by the Knights defense. Ellis sacked for a loss of 2.
Back to that now. Tony says he's nice, but he would go and CJ.
Second and 12 upcoming for the Blue Jays. Fleetwood, Huffman, and Young, the three receivers at the bottom, at the right of Ellis. He'll step back to throw once again. A quick pass there to Travion Mosby. He'll gain about 10, but they were pushed back, so third and 2 coming up for the Blue Jays. Once again, the Blue Jays needing a big third down conversion. They're in Knights territory now. You want to make something out of this. I would imagine it'd be too far for a kick, so they'd have to punt it if they didn't go for it on fourth down. You at least want to get 1 yard to be able to have a closer chance at fourth down, but Ellis will pass to Huffman. Huffman had it in his hands, but a good stop there. That was number 19, Herrenwig, excuse me. Good stop. Put his hand up, and Huffman wasn't able to bring it down. So it will be the punting team and Brannicky to lead them. Joe Herwig, the man who stopped that last pass, will be back to return this punt. 11:33 remaining. Brannicky will set up the punt. His punt, a good one. Will roll and continue to roll down into the 6-yard line.
The ball is placed on the 6-yard line.
So Blue Jays aren't able to get those 7 points back, but able to punch them back into the 6-yard line, and the Knights will try to extend their lead. Aguilar, Denoyer, and Kren in the backfield. That's Denoyer. He'll move around a tackle and get out to the 12-yard line. Good run for about 6 yards. Knights have been heavy on the run game today. Haven't seen very many passes.
Top prize is $100 cash. Tickets are $1 each and may be purchased from all TC today. Drawing will take place at
2 receivers out to the top and bottom of your screen. That's Denoyer once again, crushed at the line. They'll give him a generous spot there. It will be a first down. First and 10 from the Knights' own 19-yard line. False start here on the offense. Looks to be
False start. Offense. Number 5.
5 jumped a little early.
First down.
It's Micah Jarvis jumped a bit early, getting a little anxious here on first down, so it'll be 1st and 15. Aguilar will pitch it out to Kren, and once again with the head of speed, he'll try to make it back to the line of scrimmage, but makes it just a little short. 2nd and 11 up to come. Kren nearing the 200-yard mark.
Number 79.
And as I speak, there's a penalty flag on the play that'll push the Knights back even further. There's a holding on 79.
another pushback of the Blue Jay.
As I was saying, Kren nearing the 200-yard mark. Been a key factor for this Knights offense. Something new for the Knights here. Excuse me, a shotgun set. Another flag.
Substitution violation. Defense, 12 men in position. 5-yard penalty. First down.
That's actually on. A little bit of confusion here. They called the defensive substitution error on the Blue Jays, but seems to be some confusion. It might have been on the Knights.
Correction. There's no foul on the play.
There's actually no penalty on the play. So the Knights push back to their own 6-yard line once again. 1st and 20. Lots of penalties in this game so far. You can think of the big one that hurt the Knights earlier. But after all that chaos, we start back. Aguilar will be in the shotgun set on his own 5-yard line. That handoff, nothing happened in there. Stopped. The line had a group effort there to stop the run. Maybe a gain of 1, if anything. $9:33 remaining here in the first quarter. Blue Jays looking for a big stop to be able to tie this game right back up before they go into the locker room for halftime. Shotgun set. Aguilar with Denoyer on his right. That'll be Kren in motion. He'll get the handoff. Tries to find some space around the right side, but nothing happening there.
Just couldn't pull it off on the outside. Third down.
3rd and long for the Knights.
Pick it up from the fans. It's a Blue Jay.
Aguilar and the Knights offense will need about 16 yards for this first down. Otto in motion. It'll be another run for Denoyer, but legs were taken out there, and just a gain of about 4 won't be enough for the first down. It was a 3rd and long situation.
And also, Blue Jay fans, if you'd like to buy your very own Westminster jersey, there are also $10 for sale just right in the
That punt up. That's Martin who will receive it and call a fair catch right at about the 46-yard line of the Blue Jays. So 7:56 remaining here in the first half. Blue Jays will look to put up 6 more, maybe 7 here before they have to take a little break here on homecoming Saturday. It's Dobbins back out there with Ellis. 2 receivers out to the right and left of Ellis. He'll hand that off to Dobbins. Dobbins breaks the tackle, and he has some room. He'll get out to the 40-yard line.
Good game for the Blue Jays.
Taylor Dobbins, a good run there. Nice blocks, and also did a good job of breaking through a tackle. Blue Jays now in Knights territory, moving quickly. Young and Martin, the two at the bottom of your screen. Travion Mosby at the top. Dobbins stays out there with Ellis.
45's a pussy.
Number 32, Dobbins once again on the carry. He'll gain 6. A lot of running going on here from the Blue Jays. At times it's worked to success, at times it hasn't. But I think it's done a good job setting up the passing game. We saw the big pass to Fleetwood. The defense seemed to be a little bit out of whack. So good job offensively using that strategy. Now with 4 receivers out, now we'll see if they'll give it a pass. 2nd and about 5. Ellis will have a quick pass. That's Fleetwood once again. Not much happening there. He'll gain about 2 yards. On the 31-yard line is the Blue Jays. They'll look to put up 7. They need a 3rd down. They're 3 for 6 on 3rd downs thus far. They've been a lot better with that later on in the season. They struggled so much with that early on. Look to become 4 and 7. Dobbins looks to get the yardage. He's doing a really good job of getting that extra yardage. Some good blocks up in front. That will be good for a 1st down.
Score for another Blue Jay.
5:35 remaining here in the 2nd quarter. Blue Jays threatening here on the 30-yard line. A high snap, but Ellis looked back to throw, intended for Mosby. Touchdown! Travion Mosby, another touchdown. Blue Jays put on 6 more. Ellis to Mosby once again. Travion Mosby making a huge impact here in the 1st half on homecoming. That's touchdown number 9 on the season for him. And the extra point right through the middle. We're all tied up once again, 14-14 here in the 2nd quarter. 5:24 remaining. Wyatt Ellis, 122 passing yards, 2 touchdowns, each thrown to Travion Mosby, who has 63 yards, averages 73 a game, so he's almost past his game time average. Also, Taylor Dobbins having himself quite the game, 31 yards. Yeah, huge 1st down on the 3rd down conversion he had at the 30-yard line. He broke a tackle, gained a few more yards. That set up the touchdown for the Blue Jays. So now Brannicky will be kicking it off to the Knights once again. His kick punted all the way back to the 5-yard line. That's 23 Beckman. He'll make it all the way out to the 31.
Now our defense is back on the field.
So 5:16 remaining here in the first half. Aguilar and Kren out in shotgun. He'll have a lot of pressure. That's number 58 on the sack. Kaminsky on the sack for the Blue Jays. He'll push the Knights offense back 5 more yards. A huge play there. A run to Kren. He'll be stopped at the line. Number 90, Ben Holt, says no, sir. 3rd and long once again for the Knights. Aguilar, the pass to Denoyer, nowhere close. 4th down coming up. And it will be Otto out to punt once again. His punt, a high one. That'll be Martin. Calls for a fair catch right at the 41. So the Blue Jays defense coming up big, a 3 and out. Now they'll have the ball with 4:19. That's plenty of time for this offense to score once more before half. Big sack to start it off, and then Ben Holt crushes through the offensive line and stops the run. Now the offense has a great chance to get 6 more on the board. Ellis back to pass. A lot of pressure there. He'll move out of the pocket. Steps back to throw to Mosby. Sorry, that was Young intended, but that pass just out of the reach. A lot of time there for Ellis. He made a good pass, but I think it might have been tipped by the defender. That was number 22 who put his hand out there in front of Young. The pass was just tipped out of the way. 2nd and 10, up and coming for the Blue Jays. We'll have DQ Smith out there with Ellis this time. 3 receivers at the bottom of your screen, 1 at the top. Ellis steps back to throw once more. He'll get through the pocket. Pressure coming. He'll throw. That pass to Fleetwood. Reception says it was incomplete. Looks like it hit the ground. That would have been an impressive play there by Fleetwood. It looked from up here that he might have caught it, but the refs say no, sir. 3rd and 10 now upcoming for the Blue Jays. DQ Smith will stay out there in the shotgun set with Ellis. Pass play once again, a lot of pressure from the Knights. Ellis will pass that one in and out of the hands of Travion Mosby. So a 3 and out on the other side of things for the Blue Jays. They'll have to force the defense to go back out there and have another stop. Tim Brandicke, a nice punt that set up the Blue Jays. They pinned the Knights offense back to the 10-yard line. We'll see if he can do the same here. His punt, a high one. Fair catch there. Not bad. That's 21-yard line is where the Knights will take place. 3:46 remaining in this half. Scores all tied up 14-14.
one. Tell Ian just to take him whichever side he goes to.
So the Knights offense to take the field once again. That's Denoyer. He'll gain about 3 or 4. Last time a 3 and out. The Blue Jays defense did a really good job. There's a sack and a tackle for a loss. Knights offer just one receiver. That's Kren out to run. Being stopped there by 3 Blue Jay defenders. After his big touchdown run, he hasn't had much to say after that. It'll be 3rd and short. A big stop.
All right, Blue Jay fans.
The Blue Jays can get it here for their defense. As I mentioned before, the Knights struggled on 3rd downs. 1 for 14 in their last game. See if they can get it here. That's Denoyer stuffed at the line. Denoyer will gain 1 yard, but not enough for the first down, and that'll bring out the punting team. Another huge 3 and out.
Wasn't good enough for a first down.
Martin and Young once again to field the punt. Otto's punt, a good one. Martin calls the fair catch around the 34. .220 on the clock. Still enough time for the Blue Jays to get a score. They have not used a timeout in the first half, so 3 of those. And you're on the 35-yard line. Not the best field position, but still not the worst. It'll be Ellis and DQ Smith. Martin goes in motion. Smith the handoff. He'll gain maybe 1, if that. Four receivers out for the Blue Jays. Fleetwood and Mosby up the top. Huffman and Young at the bottom. A quick pass here. That'll be Young. Young will make a move on his defender. Gain the first down and a bit more. Pass was only about 2 yards. Looked to be a screen pass, but Young made the most of it and gained about 7 yards on that carry. .120 remaining here in the first half. As I mentioned, 3 timeouts remain for the Blue Jays. Ellis back to pass once more. Instead, he'll run himself. Make a move to the outside of the field to the 40, and he'll smart of him to run out of bounds and not waste too much of the clock. But a first down from the Blue Jays.
Blue Jays!
.101 on the clock now. Blue Jays threatening on the 40-yard line. Four receivers out for the Blue Jays with DQ Smith, the running back, alongside Ellis. Ellis a high snap, but he'll pass that one. Looked to be intended for Young, but a little bit of confusion there, and we'll have 2nd and 10. I like to think if they can get to about the 25-yard line with this wind, it'll be a good position for a field goal, but from where they are now, not the best position to kick. Timeout there called from head coach John Welty of the Westminster Blue Jays. 56 remaining here in the first half. Been a lot of offense thus far and a lot of good defense as well. 14-14 is our score. Had a few 3-and-outs. Defense has been having good stands on the offense. But also a lot of penalties that have helped and hurt both sides. One fumble from the Knights that gave the ball back to the Blue Jays, and they scored on that drive. Travion Mosby, 2 receiving touchdowns from Wyatt Ellis. Those were throwing touchdowns, 11 and 12 for Ellis on the season. We haven't seen Ellis run very much this game, which he did a lot of last game. 3 rushing touchdowns for him. So 14 on the play clock. Ellis will set up with DQ Smith behind him. A high snap results in Ellis having to run, and also a flag, a high hit on Ellis. He's getting up slowly. Might be a high hit on the defenseman there for the Knights. Took Ellis a while to get up. He's a little bit shaken up. We have 48 seconds remaining here in the first half. Awaiting the call of this flag.
There's no foul on the play. The contact.
The refs decide not to call a flag on the play, so the Blue Jays will have the ball on the 39-yard line. 3rd and 10, the clock running now. They'll have to get at least 10 more yards for a field goal, I would assume. Ellis managing the offense. Good defensive stop by the Knights. That'll stop the clock with 27 seconds remaining.
Put 2 back to the field. They're bringing a punt team on. Put 2 back to fair catch, please. 2 back to fair catch.
The punt team out for the Blue Jays. 4th and 10, 27 seconds remaining. 2 back to receive for the punting team. And it'll be Brannicky once again to punt. Try to push him back. A nice punt from him. That punt will go to the 1-yard line, pushing the Knights offense back. They'll have to start their drive on the 1-yard line. A good punt there by Brannicky. We have 17 seconds remaining here in the first half. First and 10 for the Knights, and that might be, is it a safety? They will rule him on the 1-yard line. Clock is still running. That's really close to being a safety.
The second time out of the half.
And a timeout called from the Blue Jays, but will be back on the field. 5.9 seconds remaining. The Knights will have to probably run it out here. Aguilar with one more play here in the first half. That's a run by Denoyer, but nothing happening here, and that'll bring a stop to this first half. 14 all. A good first half here on homecoming weekend. The Blue Jays against the Martin Luther Knights will go into half all tied up. You're listening to the Blue Jays Sports Network. Stay tuned for more football action here on homecoming weekend. I'm Jamie Burdish with the call. We'll be right back with you in just about 20 minutes. flag thrown, but a short pass. Flag in the
Illegal
back.
substitution. Illegal substitution. Offense, number 5. 5-yard penalty. First down.
And it will not illegal substitution once again. This time it goes against the Knights. That'll push them back. Remain first down, but nice pass for the first time, seems like, in this game, and doesn't even count because of that penalty. Split set for the Knights, as it has been all.
Athleticism, but just not enough to complete the pass.
Josh Wardell slipped on the play.
Come on, Blue Jay fans. Pass complete. He said he lives. And I went try harder to take him down. Gain him about 5 yards.
Number 59. 10-yard penalty. Play third down.
Ball 46.
Good shot. Good job. Okay. I know. Shot. Total.
They were not online and really.
Back with you on the Blue Jays Sports Network. We apologize. We had some technical difficulties. May have been because of this rain. It is now pouring here at Blue Jays Stadium. But in case you missed it, a lot of turn of events here. We had two punts from both sides. The Blue Jays now have the ball. That is almost picked off there. 6:06 remaining here in the third quarter. Still all tied up, but it is pouring down rain here. Both teams having a little bit of difficulty keeping the ball in their hands. It's a fourth down here coming up for the Blue Jays. This will be their second time punting this quarter. Once again, we apologize for any errors that we have had, but we're back, and hopefully you guys are all able to hear us back at home for the rest of this homecoming game. Brandeke's punt. A short one. And a flag on the play. It looks like it'll be roughing the kicker. That'll move the Knights back.
Running into the kicker.
It will be a roughing the kicker call, so 5 yards added to that. And looks like we will re-kick that one here. 6 minutes remaining here in the third quarter. The rain continues to pour down on us at Blue Jays Stadium. We'll see how each team adjusts to the rain. Probably be more heavily onto the running game because you don't want to have a ball slip out of someone's hands or lose control of a ball and fumble it. But the Blue Jays set to punt once again. Brannicky back there. His punt, a fair catch called. That'll be the 45-yard line of the Knights. They'll have some pretty good field possession here with 5:55 remaining. As we mentioned before, only 14 yards throwing in the air for the Knights coming into this half. They've been sticking with the run
Let's
game.
go, Blue Jay fans. Rain and shine, the defense go blind.
Aguilar,
Let's get it.
who will hand it off to Denoyer. He breaks the tackle. He'll get to the 50 and more. Looked to be nothing going on there for Denoyer, but he spun off a tackle from the Westminster Blue Jays front line and gained about 10 yards on that play. Good for a first down. The Knights now on the Blue Jays' 44-yard line. That'll be Kren on the carry. He'll gain about 7 or 8 yards. A flag is thrown after the play, though.
Gone. After the play, dead ball, personal foul, 54, 15-yard penalty, first down.
It'll be a personal foul on the defense. 15 more yards for the Knights. They'll have even better field position. Once again, penalties hurting the Blue Jays. Now on the 22-yard line are the Knights offense. Started this drive off at the 45-yard line of their own territory.
Dead ball, unsportsmanlike. Defense, number 57, at the distance, step.
And yet another penalty from the Blue Jays will cost them 15 more yards. They'll be now in the red zone. That was another unsportsmanlike conduct call there. Unfortunate. So the Knights look to put up 7 more here. That's Denoyer on the carry. Nothing coming from him there. A gain of maybe 1 or 2 yards. They're now within under the 10-yard line. They're right about the 9.5. 4:55 remaining here in the third quarter. The Knights looking to take their third lead of this game. That one handed off to Denoyer once again. And he'll be stopped just short, but once again.
Holding, offense, number 75.
And yet another flag that's holding, this time on the offense. It'll push the Knights back out of the 10-yard line. Remains second down. So a handful of penalties from both teams moving each other back and forth thus far in this drive. Aguilar will take his offense. He'll fake the handoff, throw that one, good for about 4 yards. That's number 88 on the reception.
third down. Come on, Blue Jay fans.
No.
Let's rally behind our defense.
Third down to come for this Knights offense, who struggled thus far in the game during third downs. They were 3 for 3 coming into this game against Iowa Wesleyan in the red zone. They're pretty close to the red zone. I would probably consider it the red zone at this point. They've been inside there, just the penalties have costed them. So looking to continue their red zone streak. That pass is caught and looks to be a touchdown for the Knights. A receiving touchdown, something we have yet to see today from the Knights. But a good quick pass there by Aguilar, and 6 points on the board for the Knights. They take the lead once again. It's a quick slant route to Jarvis, and placed right in the hands of Jarvis. That extra PAT is good. So the Knights will be up 21-14 here in the third quarter. So once again, Charles King to return for the Blue Jays. The rain is slowed down here. The turf's still slick. It'll be Otto to kick for the Knights. That last drive from the Knights, just 5 plays, 54 yards gained. And it took just about 5 minutes. Excuse me, it took 2 minutes. Started at the 5-minute mark. And Otto will kick off to the Blue Jays. That one, a squibbed one, right to, that was Klein, I believe. Klein out to the 45-yard line, hit hard, but a good job to take that ball, take control of that ball. That ball was quickly off the ground. So Seth Klein gets the return for the Blue Jays right about the 45-yard line.
Somebody please get that truck off the field. Good return by the Blue Jays.
And once again, it will be Bryce Moorman out for the Blue Jays to play quarterback for them. Davis behind him. The 2 receivers, Young and Mosby. Moorman started this half. If you are just now joining us, unsure of Wyatt Ellis' status, he got pretty banged up in the first quarter. But Moorman, the senior, has a lot of experience here. He'll look to tie this game right back up and hopefully get another win for this Blue Jays team here on homecoming weekend. 3 receivers at the bottom of your screen. That's Fleetwood, Huffman, and Young. Moorman back to throw. A lot of pressure there. He'll take it and run himself. He'll gain about 5 yards, but with them being pushed back on that last run, it'll be
Bryce Moorman on the
3rd and
quarterback
7.
for a short game for the Blue Jays.
So a big third down conversion needed for the Blue Jays here, 3rd and 7. Moorman out to the right. He'll take it himself and run. Stuffed there by the Blue Jays. Or excuse me, the Knights. Knights have a player injured on the play, and that was a run for no gain. So 4th and 7 for the Blue Jays, and once again they'll have to punt. Two back to return for the Knights. So Brannicky punting here. His kick will go to about the 22-yard line, and a fair catch called there by the Knights. The Knights will have 1 minute and 50 left in the third quarter to make some sort of run before the quarter runs out here, but they have the lead now 21-14. I'm sure, as they have been all game, they'll probably be trying to run out the clock, waste as much time as possible. The split set once again to start their drive. Back to pass. It's Aguilar, and he passes to Wardell. Wardell had a few men on him, but got past that and gains a first down. I'm sorry, that will be just a bit short of the first down, 2nd and short to come. Wardell and Jarvis, the receivers. This ball is pitched back out to Kren on the carry. There is a flag on the play. Awaiting that call. It could be a holding on the offense.
Holding. Offense.
It is. That'll back. The Knights will be forced back 10 yards. 2nd and 11 to come for them. So 2nd and 11 from the 22-yard line here. The Knights in the shotgun set here. That'll be Aguilar keeping himself, spins off a defender. A nice move there. He'll gain about 5 or 6 yards. 3rd and about 5. Clock winding down here in the third quarter. 45 seconds remain. Shotgun sent once again, a short screen pass. That ball is dropped. Jumped on there by Ben Holt, but it was an incomplete pass, not a fumble. So that'll bring on 4th down, and also the rain starting to come down hard once again. That could be, very well could be a reason why that pass was dropped. The ball could have been wet. That's Otto to punt. This punt goes right out of bounds at the 45-yard line. So some good field possession for the Blue Jays to come. 21-14, they're down 7, looking to tie this game back up. DQ Smith out with Mormon. Be in the pistol set. Blue Jays have used a number of receivers in today's game. Mormon will be back to pass. That's Totten with the reception. He'll gain about 15 and tried to keep moving, but 3 defenders were able to get him down. Good reception there by Totten.
Blue Jay! First down.
Totten, the junior tight end. And that'll do it for the third quarter. A good way to end the third quarter for the Blue Jays. They're charging down the field around the 34-yard line, down by 7.
First quarter is our quarter.
Once again, this is a UMAC conference matchup between the Westminster Blue Jays and Martin Luther Knights. Homecoming for the Westminster Blue Jays, and it's been a good one thus far. The rain kind of putting a damper on it, but it's been a good day. And the Blue Jays looking to finish off a win here for their 2019 homecoming. I want to thank you for joining us for this homecoming game, and hopefully this last quarter will be enjoyable for you guys. So Mormon and DQ Smith will be the men in the center. 3 receivers to the top of your screen. That's Fleetwood, Huffman, and Young. The ball is handed off. Fumbled by Mormon. He'll lay on it, but lost once again. Fumble by Mormon. Recovered by the Knights. That was number 91, Keith Brassow, for the Knights, who recovered that ball. It looked like Mormon had it recovered, but then he lost it once again. Unfortunately, this rain is not the best factor to have during a football game, and just kind of lost control of that. So the Knights will take possession once again to start off this fourth quarter. Shotgun set. A handoff there, nothing doing.
He got stuffed. Good job, Blue Jay defense.
Neuer gains about 2. The 2nd and 7 for the Knights here on their own 45. 47. Shotgun set. Aguilar back to pass. That pass is just in and out of the hands of the receiver. It's actually the running back, Kren, on the intended receiver, but that ball just went right through his hands. So 3rd and 7 up to come for this Knights offense. Shotgun set. There's a fake handoff and another pass that's dropped. We'll bring up 4th down. And that's 2 passes in a row that are dropped by the Knights.
It's a 4th down.
Both running backs for the Knights have well over 100 yards. You wonder why they're not throwing the ball, running the ball in this situation, up by a touchdown and the rain coming down. But now they'll be in a situation to punt. That punt, a good one from Otto, all the way down inside the 3-yard line. So the offense will be pinned back in their own 3-yard line and try to gain some yardage and hopefully get at least a field goal here with 13:52 remaining. You see Wyatt Ellis now on the sidelines, no pads, so it'll be Bryce Mormon the rest of the game. Mormon and DQ Smith. Smith with the handoff, got some ahead of speed, excuse me, there. He'll get out to the 5-yard line.
Run up the middle for a short gain for the Blue Jays.
13:30 remaining. Blue Jays have plenty of time here, but you'd think they'd need at least a score in this drive to keep within this game. That's a fake handoff. Quarterback keeper for Mormon. He'll be stuffed and gained just about a yard. So 3rd and about 8 here for the Blue Jays. A huge 3rd down conversion is needed for the Blue Jays here. 4 receivers out for them. Mormon set to pass. And a sack there by the Knights defense. Mormon had no one to throw to. Plenty of time, but no one was really open, so he decided to take it himself and try to run, but sacked there behind the line. Now a scary situation if you're a punter at the back of the end zone. That'll be Tim Brannicky with 12 minutes remaining here in the 4th. Brannicky's punt will go out of bounds at the 33-yard line. .11:45 here in the 4th. Blue Jays need a huge stop. If they allow a touchdown, you'd probably think that this game is pretty much over with the time ticking down. But once again, the split set for the Knights. Looking to... Oh, and a fumble! Fumble on the play. Once again, the ball being wet from all this rain, but Knights pick it up. That was Aguilar who fumbled it a bit right after the snap. It looked like he was trying to move to the left too quickly, and that ball just got away from him. Fortunately for the Knights, though, they recover it. 2nd and 12 here on the 35-yard line. That's Denoyer. He'll break a tackle. He's still going, and he'll get the 1st down and more. Denoyer stopped behind the line of scrimmage, but just keeps going, plows through, and gets a 1st down.
Let's go sideline the fans. Let's put that one for our defense. Let's go Blue Jays.
Ball now on the 19-yard line, 10:44 remaining. Denoyer once again breaking through some tackles, but this time
He gets
stopped.
Out of Blue Jays.
Smothered there at the line, gain of about 1. Still a chance for the Blue Jays to get a big stop and limit to the Knights' offense to a field goal. Also, you'd think that with this rain, it might be kind of impossible to kick a field goal, the ball being wet and the wind. But this Blue Jays defense has to get there first. The run once again handed off to Denoyer. He'll gain about 4. It'll be 3rd and 5 coming up.
3rd down.
A ton of running from the Knights thus far in the game. Yet to see Aguilar, the quarterback, take it himself, but something he can do for sure, and that's a big stop from the Blue Jays.
Number 24, Ben Hyman.
Ben Hyman, the stop behind the line. That'll be a 4th down. Huge stop there for the Blue Jays. And will bring on the kicking team. It's Otto, number 10 for the Knights. That kick is up. And it will be good. 3 points for the Knights. 24-14, 8:54 remaining in the 4th. So now with just under 9 minutes, the Blue Jays will look to put at least 3 points up and maybe even 7. They'll need something here. Probably try to get it before the 5-minute mark and then get a big defensive stop. But to start this drive off, it'll be Charles King and Damian Martin once again in the backfield. Remember last time, the Knights tried a bit of a squib kick / onside kick that went right to the tight end for the Blue Jays, Seth Klein. He smothered that though. We'll see what the Knights approach here. And it is a bit of a onside kick. That one smothered though. And the Blue Jays will take possession on their own 35.
As the kick bounces around, number 6 comes. Blue Jay ball at the 35.
So the Blue Jays start on their own 35, needing 10 points to tie this game up. As we know, we can't do that in one drive, so they'll need to make a quick drive here. Mormon is passed a little bit too high for Travion Mosby. Norman 0 for 3 in passes thus far coming into the game. Sorry, 1 for 3. Yes, Davis behind him, and 4 receivers out. It'll be a run to Davis. Davis will be stuffed though. A gain of maybe 1. So another big 3rd down, 3rd and long for the Blue Jays. They'll need at least 9 to get the first down. Once again, Davis behind Mormon. Mormon will step back to throw a lot of pressure. A pass just thrown out of bounds by Mormon. 2 defenders. Mormon's so close to being sacked there, but gets it away. And once again, the punt team will be on for the Blue Jays. Tim Brannicky out to punt. It's a good one from Brannicky. A fair catch called by the Knights, and they'll take possession on about the 26-yard line. So 7:50 remaining here in the final quarter of this game. The split set once again. It'll be Kren. Kren has some room. He'll move around the defender down to the 50. The referee will say that he stepped out, but if not, he would have had a ton of space, and from what we've seen today, he probably would have had himself his 3rd touchdown. Full head of speed from Kren. But there is a flag on the play, and that'll be holding on the offense, so everything goes back. So pushed all the way back to, looks like it'll be the 15-yard line or so. Knights, 7:42 remaining here.
Blue Jay fans aside, let's pick it up for the defense.
Aguilar in the split set with his Denoyer and Kren, which he has been like all game. They'll need 15. And that's Denoyer. He has a lot of space. Huge hole for the Knights. The O-line created a big hole and allows Denoyer to get the first down and plenty more. Clock remains to run here after the first down. The Knights offense continues to run out the clock.
Blue Jays with the stuff. 2nd down.
2nd and just about 6 for the Knights. They're just about to the halfway point and having a good drive thus far. The penalty pushed them back, but that didn't matter. A huge run from Denoyer allowed them to gain about 17 yards. That'll be another handoff to Denoyer.
Again, Blue Jays for the stuff. That's 3rd down.
3rd and short coming up. Huge stop from the defense needed. Force this Knights offense to punt.
Blue Jay defense.
One receiver out. That's Jarvis. 2 running backs aside from Aguilar. They try to push it through a line, but stopped by the Blue Jays defense.
And there we go, another stop.
So 4th down and 2 coming up.
4th down.
And the punt team will come out. They decide just to be safe. Martin and Young will go out for the Blue Jays. Clock's still running though. 5:40 left in the game. Otto's been having some success punting wise in this game. We'll see what he can do here. His punt goes out of bounds right at about the 10-yard line. Almost hit number 15, Martin, I believe that was. Blue Jays will take possession on the 16-yard line, though. .5:13 left in this game. If you're the Blue Jays, you want to score before about the 3-minute mark. That way, defensively, you can waste some time. You don't have to waste some time, and you can get another stop and get at least a field goal to tie it up. It'll be flag on the play.
Good. False start. Offense.
It'll be a false start on the offense, number 57. That'll push him back 5 yards. Moorman back with Davis. He'll hand it off to Davis. Davis breaks through one tackle, but not the other. Yet another flag.
Offense. Number 78. Penalties.
78 holding on the offense. Penalties once again hurting this Blue Jays team. 5:07 remaining. 4 receivers out. That's Young and Hoffman up to the top of your screen. Moorman will step back and throw. That pass just out of the reach of Fleetwood. And third down will come. Third and 15, maybe the Blue Jays' last chance to get a first down. Moorman will step back into the pocket. Lots of pressure. Travion Mosby will make a catch just short of the first down, but you'll like to think if they will go for the first down, 4th and 2. They will bring the punting team out. Tim Brannicky to punt. Hopefully for the last time in today's game. That punt right about the 50-yard line, probably the 48 of the Blue Jays territory. So 4:07 remaining here in today's homecoming game at Blue Jays Stadium. The Knights came out swinging but weren't able to score in their first drive, and it's been a back and forth contest. Both teams playing really good defense and offense, but penalties have hurt both teams. And now we'll have a flag. Play will be ruled dead.
Good ball. False start. Number 11 on the offense.
False start, and as I speak of these penalties, they just keep piling on here in today's matchup. As I mentioned before, this is a UMAC conference matchup. Martin Luther came and traveled here to Blue Jays Stadium, coming 4-1 overall and 3-0 in conference. Blue Jays 2-4 and 2-2 in conference. If the score stays the way it is, Martin Luther will remain undefeated in conference. There's a run. That was Elliott Butler this time on the carry. Butler, 5'9" junior. Clock still remains to run. Just about 3:35. That'll be a timeout called. I believe it was just by the referee. So no timeouts charged to either team.
Blue Jay fans, just remember there's still burgers and other things left at the concession stand.
Unsportsmanlike behavior. Defense.
So we actually have a penalty flag on the Blue Jays. It was a defensive, unsportsmanlike conduct. I believe it was from someone on the sideline, so 15 yards gained from that penalty, and the Knights will be in Blue Jays territory. So time will tick down for this game, homecoming game at Blue Jays Stadium. Aguilar will hand it off once again. That's Kren. Good run by him to get the first down and a little bit more. So after a good first half of defense, a ton of penalties piling up from both teams really, but the Blue Jays kind of letting it affect them, and now 24-14 is our score. Blue Jays haven't been able to score since half. 2:24 remaining. Kren once again. He'll gain 5. And that'll push him over the 200-yard amount of rushing yards for him today. Him and Denoyer tallying a ton of their offensive yards here today. Denoyer with 191 yards. It'll be just short of a first down. And a timeout called here by the Blue Jays.
Westminster.
As this game concludes, we want to thank you for tuning in to the Blue Jays Sports Network. 1 minute, 33 seconds remain in today's homecoming game here in Fulton, Missouri. Last meeting between these two teams, Martin Luther won 28-12, and it looks like they'll take this game 24-14 if they can't score before this game comes to a close.
Timeout. Westminster.
Another timeout called by Coach John Welty. There's the second timeout called from the Blue Jays, so they still have one more if they would like to use that. Big question we're asking ourselves is why Wyatt Ellis didn't come out to play in the second half, as the Knights decide to just kneel it.
Westminster. The final timeout.
One final timeout from the Blue Jays, but as I was saying, Wyatt Ellis not coming out for the second half, a big part of this. Westminster Blue Jays, not only the offense, but the team, had 3 touchdowns in the last game and 2 throwing touchdowns before the half. may have been banged up too much in the first half, though. A lot of pressure from him. So they put in Bryce Mormon, and Mormon did a really good job, but just so many penalties piled up. Not enough offense. So it looks like they will take this loss. But still 1:23 remaining. One last kneel for the Martin Luther Knights, and that'll do it for this game. So as I mentioned, after this game comes to a conclusion, Martin Luther Knights will advance to 5-1 on the season, 4-0 in the UMAC. Westminster Blue Jays will fall to 2-5 and 2-3 in conference. That'll do it for us here today. Homecoming weekend, the Westminster Blue Jays fall to the Martin Luther Knights, 24-14. I'm Jamie Burdish on the call today. Thank you all for joining us here on the Blue Jays Sports Network. Hope you join us next time. Have a great rest of your day. Thank you.